Hey everybody, I hope and pray that you're doing well. Today as we come to our word from the word. And today that word is continuation. Continuation. Now, yesterday we began to look at the Song of Solomon, and today we'll finish that look at Song of Solomon. Just these 2 days. I told you this is a book. These are passages that are very beneficial to married couples, even those engaged couples, those preparing to get married. And whether you've been married for a day or 100 years, it is something good for us to read. Now, also with that, it's also a way of looking at it and reading and thinking about even the relationship of us and God. You know, sometimes the romantic part you think, okay, not so much, but it's the same way that we are the bride of Christ, that we should just fall in love with God. He loves us. He loved us so much he sent his son to die for us. So if you think about that and think about the way that he views us and then the way that we should view him, we should be longing to spend time with the Lord. In the same way, in a marriage, we should be longing to spend time with one another. And so that's the continuation, right? There's a lot of romance leading up to the consummation, leading up to the wedding night, and a lot of romance early on, but oftentimes what happens? The romance kind of dwindles and you get comfortable and you get complacent. And it happens to virtually everyone, but that doesn't mean that it's right. So today, I want you to see that as you get about halfway through the second half of the book, it kind of deals with this dream that the Shulamite has, and there's a plethora of commentaries going all different directions on these passages, but basically the dream is that she has is that now she squandered an opportunity to spend some intimate time with her husband, and now she's trying to get that time back. So in Song of Solomon, chapter 5, we'll look at verses 2 through 8 today. And this is the Shulamite speaking. She says, I sleep, but my heart is awake. It is the voice of my beloved. He knocks, saying, Open for me, my sister, my love, my dove, my perfect one. For my head is covered with dew, my locks with the drops of the night. I have taken off my robe. How can I put it on again? I have washed my feet. How can I defile them? My beloved put his hand by the latch of the door, and my heart yearned for him. I rose to open for my beloved, and my hands dripped with myrrh, my fingers with liquid myrrh on the handles of the lock. I opened for my beloved, but my beloved had turned away and was gone. My heart leaped up when he spoke. I sought him, but I could not find him. I called him, but he gave me no answer. The watchmen who went about the city found me. They struck me, they wounded me. The keepers of the walls took my veil away from me. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, that you tell him I am lovesick. Now I told you there's a lot of different interpretations around this, but I really and even applications and you can look at a lot of these things a lot of different ways. But today I just want our focus to be this. You basically have her that there she's locked away in her dream or in her dream, almost in a dream, that as she hears this knock at the door. It is her husband, and he wants to come in to the room, and she says, "Well, look, I've already gotten ready for bed," and she says, "I'm already in bed. I'm too comfortable. I don't feel like getting up." And then he basically gets frustrated and leaves by the time she comes up to open the door. And you notice that I think about this. It's funny how both of them said, okay, hey, we'll make this a time of romance, but both at different times. And if you've been married any length of time, I'm sure there's plenty of times that you, as spouses, that you just agree at different times. And so one of the things that we all have to work at is to agree at the same time. Now, without getting into a lot of detail with this, let's just think about how we prioritize romance in our marriages, right? I know a lot of times it ends up being that, okay, say, well, men, and this is just characterizations, right? That men, all they care about is sex, and that the women are, oh, I got a headache, and that just kind of is the thing that everybody says. But both of those are wrong, right? As being a married couple, your body no longer belongs to you, but to your spouse. And so, I mean, the New Testament speaks on this as well, is how it has to be where it's not you trying to get pleasure yourself, but you're always trying to serve the other one. And so when we have an attitude of service, now all of a sudden this romance we were talking about early on is continued on every day of our marriage. If we're trying to basically outserve one another, to look out for the other's best interests. Doesn't mean that every single moment of every single day is romance. But what it does mean is that you have to work hard, both of you have to work hard to stay in love, to keep the fires burning, to keep the romance going. But remember, it's not just in marriage with your spouse. The same is true in our marriage to God. We have to continue to work at this romance. We have to continue to work to make ourselves lovable. I mean, now God already loved us enough to send His Son to die for us. But let's think about how, if you want some romance, you're probably going to take a shower first and clean up a little bit, make yourself presentable. Now, how often do we, spiritually speaking, I mean, just take this kind of at face value here. How often do we spiritually really try to get ourselves ready to have a relationship with God? To say, God, I want to speak. God, I want you to speak to me. I want to have some intimate conversation with God. We may have been excited to have that when we first got saved, but then again, the romance may have dwindled away. What does Jesus say in Revelation to the one church? He says, you have left your first love. So let's remember that, even as we think about in involving our enhancing, I guess that's what I was trying to say, enhancing or enriching. I think that's the word I was looking for. Enriching our relationships in our marriage. We also need to be working at enriching our relationship with God the Father. Now today, remember, that's not just a one-time thing, but it is a continuation each and every day. God bless you, and I pray you have a great, great day.